Yo, what's good, everybody? We're back again with another episode of the Mal with the Mic podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing what John Lynch had to say in his latest interview. A lot of stuff about where the 49ers are going, where they're at currently, and what this offseason might look like. Thank you guys for tuning in, and let's get started.
Mal with the mic.
To start things off, like I said, if you guys have not already seen, John Lynch had an interview earlier today where he discussed the 49ers offseason and where things could go. There's also a lot of other rumors flying around. We'll get into those as the video progresses. But let's start off with Lynch's press conference. One thing he mentioned was Javon Hargraves, defensive tackle. Had a great first year in San Francisco after signing that 4-year, $84 million contract, and came in this year, struggled a little bit in those first couple of games, and then had a season-ending injury. I believe it was a broken foot, ending his season. And now John Lynch says he's expected to be a post-June 1st cut. So, I mean, really sucks for the Niners and Hargraves. A big contract 2 years ago ends up being all for naught, as he only lasts a season and a little bit in San Francisco. So he'll be expected to be cut. Another thing Shanahan speaks about is Deebo Samuel. There's been a lot of rumors about whether Deebo Samuel will be a 49er next season. He had a really down year, a really bad year this year. And there were some trade rumors flying around, but John Lynch comes out and says those are all BS. Deebo is expected to be a 49er in 2025, which will be his final contract year. So a chance this is Deebo's final year in a San Francisco jersey. So I guess we'll see what happens there. I mean, to be honest with you, watching Deebo this year was really depressing. I mean, knowing who he was in 2021, what type of receiver he was, the All-Pro, to see where he's gone, it's a lot, you know. The guy went from 1,700 yards and 15 touchdowns to 3 touchdowns. He's like, at one point in the season, he had the same amount of touchdowns as freaking Dan Skipper, bro. Dan Skipper weighs like 360, and he's an offensive tackle, if you didn't know. So I guess we'll see what happens with the Deebo situation. If Lynch sticks to what he says and keeps Deebo throughout this year, maybe he gets traded, and we'll see what happens even next offseason if he's still a Niner and becomes a free agent. So a lot to look at there. Hey, we could talk about a couple other rumors that have been flying around, specifically around the coaching positions. The 49ers have fired their special teams coach and defensive coordinator, Nick Sorensen. And now they're on the lookout for a new defensive coordinator. It's been reported that they are expected to make an offer to their old guy, Robert Saleh, who recently got fired from the Jets earlier in the season. So would love to have him back. He's really, really great. Would absolutely love to have him back. He ran our system really, really well. Our defense hasn't really been the same since he left. I mean, it was really good after D'Amico, but that Robert Saleh-led defense was just something only stories can tell. Also looking at a couple other guys, obviously around the league, there's a bunch of coaching positions up for grabs. So the Niners will be competing with a bunch of other teams looking for a new defensive coordinator. They promoted, I believe it's Clint Kubiak to offensive coordinator. So maybe a little bit of extra creativity in that offensive showroom. You know, Shanahan will still obviously be calling the plays, but he'll have, I believe it's Kubiak, Clint Kubiak, as his adversary. Moving away from coaches, we'll get into the players. We've seen a lot of rumors flying around about some specific 49ers likely not returning. Charvarius Ward, in a press conference with the media, said that he doesn't know if he'll be able to return to California, return to San Francisco, because of all the trauma he's faced. And that's just so sad to hear. I mean, like, all he's been through this season, specifically losing his daughter, it's just, you really can't blame him. You can't. Through everything he's been through, it'll be hard to return to a place where he's experienced nothing but trauma. So if Charvarius Ward does decide to leave, you can't hold him to it in any way, shape, or form. That's his decision, and he has probably the best reasoning out of anybody that's ever left a team. Speaking on somebody else, Dre Greenlaw, there's been a lot of rumors flying around, specifically on social media after, I believe it was a birthday party, don't know, farewell party, where Dre Greenlaw's girlfriend attended, or wife, I'm not sure. I believe it was Fred Warner's wife who posted on Instagram with a caption about, like, when free agency takes your best friend away, and then Dre Greenlaw's wife walks through the doors and she's crying, and you can see she's obviously distressed. Obviously, Greenlaw will be entering free agency this year after tearing his Achilles in the Super Bowl last year. Honestly, it would just pain me to see Greenlaw leave. He's such an unbelievable player. He's great in the locker room. Like, the amount of grit that guy has and the amount of strength he has, it's unlike no other. To have him and Warner, two good buddies. I'm just like, chemistry-wise, he was such a good fit, and he's a dog on defense, like an absolute dog. So I guess we'll see how much money he commands in free agency. I still am holding out hope that he'll be able to return to the Niners, but it's not looking too good so far. Well, everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. That's all we got for you today. We got a special episode coming up, hopefully on Saturday. Gonna be a preview of the NFL playoffs, so make sure to tune in for that. We'll have a guest, like I said. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Peace!